Hello, everyone out there in the interweb. We are back. It's Wednesday. Lindsey will be here shortly. Tim's on vacation and or work. It's work related. Well, it's still vacation because he's not on the show, right? So that's basically vacation. It's vacation. But Michelle and I'm sure if it's not, I don't know if it's me and Michelle or Michelle and I. Tim's not here
Michelle
to correct me. So
I can tell you.
All right, don't take his place, Michelle. Don't take his place. Let me show my bad grammar. So we're back. Like I said, Lindsey will be here shortly. She said she had to put her face on. I don't know what that means, but maybe she's an alien. I don't know. She could be. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. Well, ask her right now, Lindsey. Are you an alien, Lindsey? Did you had to put your face on? So I was assuming maybe you're an alien.
Everything's muted. Hold on.
ET phone home.
Sorry, everything was muted on my end. I was like, oh, everything's muted. By the way, Jeff Barry, can we get him on here?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, send him the link. Send him the link. Send him that link. Yeah, we're back. It's Wednesday. It is 8/20 of 2025.
I made food for my roommate. So despite what all my exes sit here and say about me, like I can cook. Okay, tonight she had a BLT. All right.
Oh man, come on, man! My 9-year-old granddaughter can be a BLT.
Pretty good. Okay,
all right. I'll give it to you.
It was on sale today at Publix. All right.
My mom warned me before I got married. She said, make sure you marry someone that can cook, otherwise you'll be eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the rest of your life. And I said, well, that's not too bad.
I don't know.
You're an Italian guy too, though. That's for like some German American woman.
I can do all the cooking.
To take over. Yeah. Like I'm never gonna make pasta like your mom makes it.
Well, yeah. No. No one's gonna be able to do it. I make pasta better than my mom did. We got two topics. We got it's just we're gonna talk a little bit about this because it feels like either they've run out of ideas or they're going back and using old data. We kind of touched on this a few times on the show, but it seems like they're getting back to using old numbers when it comes to youth vaping. And I hate having to go through this, but I think it's important that because we have Lindsey, so we know these numbers are false and bullshit. And so we have an article that's young vapors use 3 times as likely to start smoking. Study finds, and it's in the Guardian. The link is there.
Where the fuck are they getting those numbers from? There is no numbers.
It doesn't make
sense to substantiate that at all. I mean, there just isn't. I mean, you're not seeing it in cigarette sales. Okay, you're seeing a massive decline.
Yeah. Well, the thing is either the reporter has gotten lazy or they know that the reader is lazy and they're not going to check these numbers. And
I still think it's what I've been saying for the past 4 weeks now. I think the birthless numbers, when they drop, that you're going to have 10% of adults that were vaping in 2024, and that's where everybody's now starting with the alarmism to get the ball rolling.
Yeah. And then I got a YouTube video from New Kingston, Arnold School District, installing vape detectors in their school. Only reason I picked this video is because I love the fact that they picked the wrong girl to interview in this video. A young lady, 17, 18 years old, and it was like whoa, the light bulb went on. I was like, good for you, man. Speak up, say it, say the truth. And hearing her say what she had to say, she made more sense than adults. And I was like, maybe you should get rid of everybody on the school board and hire this young lady to come on and fix the school system. It was just great to see. And it was too late. They couldn't find another kid to ask this question to, so they just like, oh well, fuck it, we're just gonna go with this one, and they paid the price. Yeah, it's like we're all the kids, man. We're all the anti-rape kids at it. So it was nice to see a young person set adults straight when it comes to how they spend their money on the school system. So it was really cool video.
Well, the vape detectors stuff too, they're subsidized.
Yeah.
And that's some of the, I just haven't had the time to be able to actually kind of go through it and stuff. When you look at these guys and it's like, they're the ones that are selling the vape detectors and they're screaming about like, oh, there's a youth vaping epidemic. Like, oh, I wonder why you sit there and say that one.
You need these.
Yeah. But we can help. We can help.
You know what? Before we even play this video, it was what's amazing to me is 20, maybe 40 years ago, if this were to come up, most of the kids in the school would have been like, yeah, you know what? That's that's stupid. Okay, whatever. Do whatever. But it seems like every generation has gotten to the point where they're starting to look around at the school and they're going, that fence is broke. That's broke. The chalkboards falling off the wall. These textbooks are 40 years old. And then all of a sudden you hear your school spending.
They did Zoom schooling. Okay. Oh, but their lawmakers have to go to the Capitol. Wait, go to school at the same time, homie? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and then you hear your school spending this much money on this thing, and you're like, "Well, wait a minute." Right. You start looking around. I mean, maybe 40 years ago, we don't really give a shit. It's like whatever. This is an old textbook, whatever. But Gen Alpha is, I guess, what they are. A little more, open-minded and looking around and seeing broken shit and wondering why it's not being fixed. Yeah, I love the fact that, and I think, one of the things that I have noticed over the years, and maybe it's just me, but Alpha and Gen Z is more understanding of what government and how it works, because I think they're getting a front row seat to it through social media, not like we did. If we wanted to know about our city council or what our mayor does and all this stuff, we had to go to the school.
Could you imagine TikTok in 1963?
Oh, Jesus Christ! They would have
assassination, and
they would have shut it down. They would have shut it down the first week. Oh my God! They would have said, "Oh no, this is capitalism," or not. It was communism. Yeah. They would have said, "This is communism." Right. I mean, we almost had that now,
and that didn't fly back then. Yeah, that did not fly.
Yeah, so it's good to see that, and that's some hope, I think, for us. This generation that's coming up, Gen Z and Alpha, being more involved in politics and understanding how the system works and how broken it is, and realizing that sometimes progressive ideas are not so great. And I'm sorry, whatever you are out there. That's fine. Vote whatever way you want to vote. But I think people are starting to realize some of these ideas that are coming across aren't so good and aren't so smart. So we're going to get into that. We're going to say hello to I'm going to say hello to Michelle. Michelle, how's your week going?
Pretty good.
All right.
Not much is going on.
Hurricane season.
It's beginning.
Yeah, you Floridans. You're Floridans.
We got more women in the house Florida in the house.
Do you have your American flag ready so you can run through the hurricane with the flag in your hand? You're ready. All right, good.
I always have a flag ready. Yes.
All right, good,
yes,
good.
I'm ready. I'm good.
You're not a Florida person unless you're doing that. So you got to have. There you go, Michelle. Yeah. See,
right,
Lindsay's got her
flip flops
I already picture Lindsey running down the street and a Category 4 hurricane saying, "Fuck you." Go south. Go south. Lindsey, how is your week going?
That was great. I got published today. So
hell yeah. I got a clapper. I got a clap sound.
And Michelle shared it. Thank you for that. By the way, so
I was very proud of you.
It was always nice to be able to, like, hey, FDA, how many kids did you kill today? With opioids, but So, but yeah, no, I've been. And I have a roommate now, and she's got some health issues, so I'm trying to foster more of okay, we both get into a little bit of a normal sense of life or whatever. So I cooked for her, and that's why I was late because I was
so
cooking.
Good.
I wasn't cooking well. Those pork chops looked awesome last week, and they were awesome last week. But she got a BLT tonight.
Oh hell yeah! I'll take a BLT.
Bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
Yeah. Hey, bacon, good.
and I'm I'm having a great week. It's almost over for me. Tonight's my Friday night. I get through tonight, and I can enjoy it. Before we get in, I'm having this argument because I love football, and I'm sat down.
Hold on, you love American football.
That is correct. The proper football. I love the proper football. And I sat down the other day and I was looking at the schedule and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I need 9 different services to watch football this year. And it's pissing me off because it's I'm going to need the Peacock app. I'm going to need I already have Amazon. I got to have the NFL Network. I got to have CBS. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I'll let Jeff in. Hello, Jeff.
What is going on, guys?
Hello. I was complaining about NFL and all the packages that we have to purchase this year to watch football.
Are you an Oakland Raiders fan? Who do you root for?
I am a Rams fan. I will never root for the silver and black. Never.
Was that the Raiders?
The Raiders are the silver. I am a Rams fan. LA Rams. But
I'm Lions, okay? I'm Lions all the way.
There you go. Well, you have to. That's your hometown.
Yeah.
That's your hometown. Yeah.
Well, then after that, it's the Chicago Bears. And come on, the 85.
Yeah, you don't want to root for that. You don't want to root for that team. You don't want to root for that team.
The 85 Bears were one of the best.
And then the lady above you, she roots for probably the worst team in the NFL right now, the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Don't say that. Don't say that, man. It used to be the Aints.
It is still the Aints. Jeff, tell everybody who you are.
No, it's not.
He's a douchebag. Sorry.
So, Jeff Berry. I've had businesses in New York, Pennsylvania, and now Tennessee. So, manufacturer Fruitalicious e-liquid. Actually, I'm at my shop right now in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So,
and we had you on the show before, I think.
Jeff, are you how intricate do you want to get on this show? By the way, you want me to tell our viewers about how your mixing closet?
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years don't count. 10 years that's all. Yeah. What is it that term that our politicians like to use where it's too old? I forget what it is called. It's in my head somewhere.
No. That's what they use when they, ditch a girl. You're too old now.
I can't remember half the stuff I say anymore. Oh, hold on. Let me find my link. I got to find my link and we'll play this. I will play this video. I was very proud. Of this young lady at the end of the video. Props to Gen Alpha. I think it's Alpha. I think it is, but it's got to be Alpha. I think Alpha is the new one, right? Alpha. And then Gen Z, and then some other generation thing. I don't know what it is anymore. I know what I am, and that's all that matters. I'm a Gen Xer.
Does anybody have any interest in seeing what I got my children?
Yeah, heck yeah.
2 seconds.
2.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah,
2.
I gotta pull the video anyway. So there we go. I'm making sure that I got volume. I do.
Hey, thanks for bringing him on, guys. Okay, I was talking to him earlier this morning, and I was just like,
"Oh, heck yeah! Oh, puppies!
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
How old are they?
8 weeks today.
Oh man,
so cute. Aww.
So this is Biscuit, and
Biscuit.
and this is Honey.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna go biscuits and gravy.
How cute.
Boys are.
Let me say hello before we get started. Let me say hello to James R. I can't do it like Tim, guys. Sorry. Jeff, Curtis is out there. Anthony's out there. Steve Troutman's out there. I'm not Troutman. Jesus, Troutman.
You are terrible.
Sorry, Steve. It's not Steve Trout. And then everybody else out there. Hey, say hello. Don't be shy. Don't be shy in the chat. We are going to play a little video before we start the show here. And let me find it. There it is. And then share it. And let me make sure everyone tell me if you don't hear it.
The new Kensington Arnold School District is installing vape detectors in its junior and senior high schools. So what is a vape detector and what does it do?
Here's KDKA's Barry Pintar.
Off the school bus, into the school, and for some, into the bathroom or stairwell for a quick vape.
Sure.
That can only take seconds. That part of the problem.
Yeah.
Those signs like this can be found in schools everywhere. Catching students who vape can be challenging. That's where these come in. Vaping detectors. Yes, looking like smoke detectors. Several schools in our area already have them installed. They include Burrell, Highlands, Plum, Riverview, and Franklin Regional. How's it going? Highlands School District telling KDKA today, quote, by implementing this proactive measure, we aim to discourage harmful behaviors and ensure that our schools remain focused on student well-being and academic successes. They say it's working.
Sure.
And there's this side.
I think they're stupid and I think they're unneeded. I think the money could have been spent on way more.
Thank you. Thank you, young lady. Yes. Thank you, young lady. Yeah.
That is my spirit animal. Yeah.
This is a girl that opened a textbook that's probably 50 years old and going, are you friggin' kidding me? Are you friggin' kidding me?
I think they're
She's smarter than all the adults.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And you can see the look of anger in her face. It's not like, this is she's annoyed.
Or better things, different improvements, but
Abby is a senior this year. She goes to Valley Junior Senior High School. Its school board just decided to install these detectors this school year. She's not keen on the idea. We also talked to several teachers and counselors at Valley. None, understandably, wanted to go on camera because, though you might think installing these detectors is a slam dunk good idea, we're told there are students and even parents like Abby who have a variety of reasons of why these detectors are not welcome.
I think it was a worthless spend. I think we just need AC. I was just in there. It's quiet. I was already sweating when I walked in there. I think I need AC. I think there's other things that are more important.
The superintendent here saying they will be installed, echoing other districts already using them, saying it's for the well-being of the students. Yeah, it's also worth noting this is no great cost for these schools either.
No great cost, but
it's the jewel money. It's the jewel stuff. Yeah.
Get started here. The cost is going to be about $12,800 with a yearly maintenance fee of only about $1,700.
Only about $1,700 a year to service these things. I was just proud of that young lady. I was very proud of that young lady for speaking up.
Yeah. I need to pull that clip and just use it on everything and go put it on social media. Here's from the teenagers, you idiots.
No,
And they're teenagers.
in perspective, my wife is a teacher.
Yeah.
They have these. They've had these in the schools. They've had these in the schools in her school for about 3 years now.
In a state that's banned flavors since for the past 5 years.
So, and they caught about 5 people the first year, and the kids figured it out, and they haven't caught anyone since.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right, Curtis. I mean, I've told this story many times. You know, I would always when I was picking up my grandson, he was in 5th grade. The school above his would they get out a little bit earlier, 7th and 8th graders, and I would always stop at AM PM before going to pick him up and get him a couple things, you know, juice and, you know, some snacks, candy, of course, and his mom doesn't know. And I'm standing in line with a bunch of 7th and 8th graders, and they've got 2 monsters in their hands or 2 Starbucks double shot espressos, and I'm thinking to myself, why are they allowed to buy this? Why is some, you know, what are you, 12 years old, 12, 13 at that age, 7th and 8th grade, maybe younger. I think you're 12.
What was that? What was that drink that was an energy drink with alcohol into it?
Now we got 2 Jeffs. Speak so I know which one's real.
Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong button.
Okay. I'm going to remove one. There you go. Are you still with us? Are you still with us?
You wanted to be on this show tonight, man. You're just fucking it up.
All right, there he is. I got him. Yeah, that blew me away. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, why does a 12-year-old need 2 monsters? Why does a 12-year-old need 2 Starbucks double shot espressos? And I'm thinking, you know, this is ridiculous. You want to stop something, you know, regulate this. This has gotten to be out of hand where kids are able to walk in and buy rock stars and monsters and energy drinks.
I mean, well, hold on. Have you noticed when you go into a convenience store now that like there is now like a whole aisle pretty much to energy drinks?
Yeah.
I mean, they got way more shelf space than like they actually in some of the places that I go to in Florida, there's more shelf space for energy drinks than there is for beer. And that's saying something for the free state of Florida.
For me, it was just nice to see one of these kids actually speak up. You know, they always pick that one kid that's it's killing us. Oh, it's you know this. Oh, yes, this is great. You know,
those are the kids that are going and testifying in places.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, well, you're not, and that's what I always want to sit there and see at a state hearing. It's like, okay, give me the kid that's actually addicted to this shit. Yeah. No, I have somebody who's like, oh, my friends are addicted. No, your friends are not addicted to this one, dude. Like your friends are sitting here playing World of Warcraft. And everything. Like, I hate to call you out like that one, but seriously, I hung out with the bad kids. You don't hang out with those kids, all right? Those were my homies when I was in high school. And we sure as fuck didn't narc on each other. And sure as hell never go to like state hearings. I mean, but every kid that you get that like shows up to a state hearing is definitely not, it's never, I want to see those kids that are so addicted, this whole youth developing brain. I want to see one of those kids. I'm so addicted to nicotine. You know, like I've got
you never see those
hearing. That would be awesome.
You don't see them. You don't hear anything from them. You know,
Jeff, do you see them in your stores?
Addicted to nicotine?
Jeff, do you see them in your stores? Yeah.
Ever? No. No, I don't. No. The big thing I have right now is 7-hydroxy.
Yeah.
I get a lot of people coming in, basically withdrawing from 7-hydroxy.
Yeah. It's just gotten to that point where it's just like, okay, well, why are these kids using these drinks? Why are these kids using the vape? And they've never asked these kids and sat them down and or maybe the parents have. Hey, why do you feel you need this? Why do you feel you need this Rockstar, this Monster? Why do you feel you need this 50 milligrams of nicotine? You don't hear any of that. And some studies, some of these kids are using it for medical purposes for themselves. They have some sort of deficiency, and it's helping them. So I don't want to get into that. I know that starts a whole can of worms that we don't want to talk about here on the show, because it starts all kinds of nonsense. But young vapors vape users 3 times as likely to start smoking, study finds. Lindsay.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I haven't looked at that study because, hey y'all, I took a couple days off. Running your own business sucks. And especially running it with your own money really fucking sucks. But I haven't really looked at but they've been saying it for the past 10 years that vaping would lead to smoking. At least in the States, there's no evidence for that. You actually have in Hawaii and Rhode Island, Utah, your 18 to 24-year-old smoking rate is under 5%. It's actually closer to 2.5%, which is 5% is the threshold that the WHO uses as a smoke-free society. So. Yeah,
and they're going back to their old tactics, because the first sentence, review warnings, e-cigarettes could act as a gateway to smoking. So they're going back to this old theory that, if you're a vapor, you're going to end up being a smoker, even though you were never a smoker before, but you just,
I can see, I like to think of myself as a scientist, so I don't like to put things out 100% or whatnot. The only thing that I can sit here and say that where vaping would lead to smoking is if you actually restrict vaping. And then, yes, you have the increase of people using combustible products.
Yep.
It is this whole, though, there is something that the whole tobacco harm reduction community is going to have to come at some point with. At some point, we are going to have a generation that they never smoked.
Yeah.
And these products are, no longer designed for people who were smokers. And when I look at Jeff Berry's got kids that, they're in their teens or whatnot. If your kid is going to be likely to use a tobacco product or whatnot, I'd prefer for them to use a safer alternative, a vape, than a cigarette and everything. So, and that's going to be something that the manufacturers are going to have to rectify. You can't say they keep marketing them as, these are just quit aids or whatnot, that these are cessation tools. No. Also, I don't think we have enough science going into the fact that you're going to have a generation, that never used a combustible cigarette. They used something that was safer. And what is what are their health outcomes, 20 years down the road? Yeah.
It says young people who vape are 3 times as likely to start smoking. Likely to start smoking.
And you know what? That could actually,
let me finish reading it. Hold on. Develop asthma and have poor mental health as those who do not, according to studies that lays bare health impact of e-cigarettes. So they're saying it's the same story. They're just drumming up the same thing. They're likely to start smoking. They're likely to end up with asthma, poor health, and it's always the poor mental health.
That study came out a month ago on the mental health, and there's another one out on this one. It's really, this is kind of like the chicken and the egg, thing. But kids who vape, especially now, youth vaping is at its lowest levels ever. These kids are more likely to be smokers. Well, there's a good chance that if you didn't have vaping there, that they would probably be likely to be smokers to begin with. It kind of goes back to that 2015 study, kids who, that's where they come up with. They're like, oh, well, kids who experiment with shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to try, and what we've noted just by our numbers, and you brought it up, that there will be a generation that won't smoke, and I think this Alpha and Gen Z, they hate smoking, they hate it completely, and it's not just that, they hate vaping too. from what I've gotten from a lot of alphas and Gen Z, they don't care for either one of the products. They're like, that doesn't make any sense to them, you know. But again, you know, they
also abstain from alcohol and don't have sex either. Okay.
Yeah, they don't. They're abstinent to sex and alcohol. They don't.
These are the most prolific people.
Yeah.
Well,
they're definitely rock and roll in their bones.
Now, I have a 15-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old daughter, and to be honest with you,
okay,
my kids, my daughters have really no interest in
either one.
In either one. I mean, like, you know, my daughter had a boyfriend in 7th grade, and really since then she just she likes boys. She just really no interest in dating. Like, it's just it's not there like it was when we were younger. It really isn't.
It's like
women are smarter now, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they just go right after. We're just the bad seeds. Yeah. No. I just, you know, from what I've gotten.
Well, when we were young, though.
Yeah, go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, when we were young, it had, you know, there was a difference in the way the kids looked, and the whole bad thing. You know, there was still that Dean atmosphere. You know, if I'm a badass, you know, and so a lot of the girls loved that. You know, I mean, they loved it. You know, and nowadays they all look like, you know, they're all these new generation kids that still look kiddish. You know.
The boys definitely look. I mean, first of all, I mean, I've got an affinity for older men, but yeah, even the boys like nowadays look way too fucking young.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter's
very young looking.
Yeah,
my daughter's male friends really don't have any interest either. I mean, they spend a lot of time, too much time, in my opinion, video games and just you know, videos on their phone, like, you know, like this.
They're glued to their phones.
And they're glued to their phones, and they don't spend time socializing. You know, video games, shorts, whatever you want to call it. It's just it's rather than socialize with each other, they'll sit around. I've seen it. They sit around in a chair or sit together, and they all glued to their phones, and they don't even talk to each other.
No. What that's building is that attention span of exactly about 30 seconds to a minute. If you cannot draw their interest within 30 seconds to a minute, you're done. Because that's all they can. That's
like
all they
dog.
can process. That's all they can process is about a minute long video.
Lawmaker, Michelle.
Yeah.
But on a good note, I mean, like, my daughter. Actually, today she took retook her Regents exam for algebra, so for school.
Yeah.
Now she probably took the test Regents probably 6 or 8 times over the course of the summer, and our generation, we didn't do stuff like that.
No. Well, I can remember, and I think it was my senior year when they started adapting the AP classes, because that wasn't a thing when I was. Yeah, there was no AP classes when you if you were just advanced, you were just in the same classroom with the rest of the people. So they didn't have AP classes until I think my senior year, and then after I graduated, then they started having it.
Okay, finish your thing, John, because I got a question after this.
Yeah. The World Health Organization, the WHO, Lindsay's favorite organization, has previously described the rise in children vaping around the world as alarming. It's alarming, Lindsay. It's alarming. It's alarming. Figures complied by Action on Smoking and Health. I have never heard of that organization.
UK and in the States. It
says this year showed that 20%, to 17-year-olds in Great Britain have tried vaping, amounting to an estimated 1.1 million children. Triple.
They've tried vaping.
Yeah, I don't know what tried vaping means. Again, they use their wordage to their advantage. They don't say they tried it one time and never touched it again. Does that count as a full-time vapor? I guess to some people, I guess it counts if it works for your study, right, Lindsay?
Probably it does.
I mean, if you can, any way that you have to, rate those numbers to get your, hypothesis down, fine.
Yeah. Have you?
The scientific method in tobacco harm reduction the scientific method in tobacco in general has been, down the chute for years.
Yeah. It's just drumming, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, what's going on at this present time that's drawing all these organizations, because it's just we're being hammered on social media now.
I called it out 2 years ago. Then when youth vaping went down in the States, that you were going to see from the other organization, the anti-tobacco organizations, that they would go after the other countries.
Yeah.
And they've gone apeshit. UK, New Zealand, all these ones with kind of liberal policies towards, vaping in general. They're definitely going hard on the UK, but the UK is not. They're not part of the European Union, so they're not part of the regulatory. Was it the TPD or whatever, the Tobacco Products Directive, which is the regulatory thing over the European Union's regulation of all tobacco products, including, novel, alternatives to cigarettes. And the UK, though, but if you look at their policies are still aligned with the TPD. So they haven't completely went, ape shit against them. Right now, the TPD, apparently there is some rumors that they are trying to actually implement a flavor ban. I think all tobacco products, including the e-cigarettes and also menthol cigarettes. I do think the EU already has a menthol cigarette ban, though. Don't quote me, and that's not my area. And there's a lot more people out there that they should be doing stuff. I kind of try to focus on the FDA.
Yeah.
Which sucks, and I have to sit here and say it because I'm a little bit pissed off about this point, and I just gotta. The FDA does not have scientific integrity. Okay.
No. They lost that many years ago. And not
integrity.
And not just in vaping alone, in that whole industry, or not industry, but that whole FDA is just corrupt and bullshit. Last month's research at the University of Michigan established that a third of UK teens who vape will go on to smoking cigarettes. Now, why? I love that one. You go, Michigan. Nobody's going to school there anymore, but meaning they are likely to smoke as their peers in the 1970s were. So
they want, honestly,
no.
I think public health wants them to be smoking.
Yeah.
My dad had a lung biopsy back in February of last year, 2024. And I walked in there and I was talking to his lung doctor, and I was just how many of your patients smoke? It's 90% of them.
Yeah.
Here's the wing that fucking cigarette smoking paid for. There's so much money to be made off of there's actually more money to be made off of treating smoking than there is cigarettes to people.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Why haven't cigarette sales
gone
up, though?
There's some good news, though.
Why haven't they gone up? Because we have alternatives.
I know, but if these people keep on going, they're going to go to smoking. Why isn't the data correlating with
exactly? That's why there is no studies.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
They're hashing up old numbers that work for their narrative, and they're using those numbers, and because they know, like I said before the show started, they either the guy that wrote the article, he or she, I'm sorry, is stupid, or they know their readers are stupid and they're not going to take the time to do the research, because most people aren't. They're going to read that headline. They're going to skim through this article. They're going to see what they want to see. And then that's it, you know, and then they go and tell.
All of the readers are lawmakers.
And then they go have dinner with their neighbors, and they talk about this article that they saw and how vaping's killing all these kids, and you know how many kids are smoking and vaping, and that person tells the next person, chief executive at Action on Smoking and Health said the rise in teen vaping in recent years is very concerning and needs urgent action from the government. Vapors are affected. It just doesn't make any sense. We know the data. We've seen the data. So we know it's not urgent. It's actually in a decline, and it's been in a decline. But they just want to spread that narrative where if we don't do something about this right now, you know, we're going to have teens vaping like they did in 1970. And we all know how vaping, cigarette smoke was prevalent in the 1970s. Everybody was friggin' smoking in the 70s.
1970. And I mean, my data sheets for the birth go back to 1995. Right. And you're looking at 18 to 24-year-olds. 30% of them were smoking.
And I can go get my parents. I get my parents' photo album out right now, and I can go through the 1950s all the way to 60s, and just the photographer. Now get this. There's pictures. My dad never touched a cigarette in his life, never smoked a cigarette in his life, right? Never. But every single picture my dad is in, he's got a cigarette in his hand, because they made him put a cigarette in his friggin' hand to take the picture. I'm like, I never made any sense to me, but oh no, you're not a man. Right. In 1968, you're not a man if you're in the photo and you don't have a cigarette. My dad never smoked in his entire life, never smoked a cigarette in his entire life, but he had a cigarette in his hand in every photo. I'm like,
props.
Here you go. Oh man.
It makes my arms look fatter.
And the narrative is getting kind of silly too, because there was do you guys remember a few months back that one teen that she had her lungs collapse? It was in Vegas. The one blonde-haired teen, she couldn't go to the prom, all that.
Yeah,
do you remember that girl?
Yeah, I remember.
Anyways,
right.
So it sounds a little creepy, but I basically follow the mom. She's a realtor in Vegas. Okay.
Okay.
She posts her daughter now. 3 months later, jet skiing, skydiving, running a marathon. But 3 months ago she was fighting for her life, and it's irreversible. She's gonna die. Vaping ruined her life.
Yep. She's a pioneer chick.
It was just a sensational narrative that they, but nobody follows up on that stuff.
Nobody does. No. It's the catch me headlines.
Right.
Well, no, nobody's followed up with the eval shit to begin with, and I hate calling it eval.
Yeah.
Vaping related lung injuries whenever I write about it, but I mean, when you look at these health departments that were doing weekly updates or whatnot, I mean, and with the CDC doing the updates, there were 68 deaths that were attributed to the vaping lung injury crisis during that time period. Converse that with the 260 Americans who will die today because of a drug overdose. But they also, what really pissed me off, I mean, I always thought with eval when that came out and stuff, because I was at a conference and it was actually a lawmaker who actually pointed this out to me. I was like, what the fuck is this stuff? And I was like, oh my God, it's dank vapes and stuff. And I bought dank vapes myself, okay, on the fucking strip and everything. So I kind of fucking knew that when I was like, I bet you this is dank vapes and everything. And at one point I got offered dank vapes for super cheap and everything. But what really, I still think that the CDC sat there and people are dying from vaping cartridges, which people were dying from vaping cartridges. They weren't dying from Juuls, though. They weren't dying from Eon Smoke or any of these assholes. They were dying from some homie who was making THC cartridges.
Yep.
And instead of informing the general public, like, oh, yeah, don't use dank vapes. No, they just went on a tirade. And I still think that they sat there. They're like, I think the CDC was like, yes, finally, we got people that are dying now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think they took advantage of the word vapor.
I do too.
And you know, and they didn't have to say it was, you know, THC or nicotine vape. They took advantage of using that word, and they were going to hope that it did associate everything with actually what we do, you know, with nicotine vaping. And so, but we all knew right away. And you know, and most of the people that if I remember correctly, I think most of the people that got sick were in areas where THC was not allowed, right? I think it was. So the last thing you want,
well,
your mom.
It was wonky. Okay. Dank was more associated with the Midwest. And those states, but then you had the OC brand. And that was like California, which California was like one of the first states to have. Yeah. But you also have
a majority of the people that were hospitalized were in states or cities that banned THC. So of course they didn't want to get arrested. They didn't want to get in trouble for having a THC card.
Well, one of the 68 deaths was a guy from Oregon, actually, and he had bought something from a dispensary.
Yeah.
So, and that's where you and that's where I think also the states kind of learn too, like, people are dealing stuff that's not, you know, it's not regulated. And that's like the biggest problem with the FDA regulation of e-cigarettes. I mean, they've authorized only 39 products for 20 million people who use these products.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the same thing happened in Colorado when they legalized marijuana there. They had the issue with the edibles and not being regulated in a way, and they were being made in the back of these shops. And that poor kid who, you know, thought he was getting a cookie that was supposed to be this many milligrams ended up getting a cookie that was like 10 times or 100 times what it should. Yeah. And
hold on.
He's the one kid that jumped off the balcony and thought he was Superman.
Oh, no. Okay. No, that's not. That's Charlie's ambassadors or whatever and stuff, because his mom started following me, and I'm like, why the hell is this THC lady following me? No, he did dabs and he had psychosis issues, actually fundamentally, like he actually had. I'm not sitting here and trying to like discredit like what THC did to him, but I'm gonna have to go on the record here on this one. He thought you could fly. Why don't you try actually, you know, taking off? Okay.
Well, see where he messed up, Lindsay. He didn't get a running start.
Exactly.
You gotta get a running start.
Charlie's ambassadors, but they talk about the high potency of weed, which I mean, I know that when I worked at a pub and I gave like my weed pen over to one of the regulars one time, and I told him straight up, I was just like, this isn't what you get from the 70s, homie.
Well, here's my argument for that. Guys are stupid. And you're Superman. I mean, my son was 5 when he
wanted me to buy him pens after that.
My son was 5 when he decided he thought he was Superman to jump off the balcony. He still had the Superman cape on and everything, and thank God he landed on top of the grandfather clock and rode that down. Otherwise, he would have been hurt more.
I used to take, my parents had a split level house in Texas, and I took my little walker thing, and I would just go and just do an air, you know, I'd air off and everything, you know, just like go off the
Shoots. I thought Lindsay was going to tell me she wore her Wonder Woman outfit and was spinning around with her truth of lasso, whatever it's called.
No lasso.
Let me get this. Let me get the rest of this. Ann McNeely, here we go.
She has a whip.
Someone with a little sense. A professor at the tobacco addiction at King's College in London noted that many of the studies on which the researchers drew their studies were rated critically low or low quality, meaning the author should be extremely cautious before making any conclusions.
Right.
She said there could be other reasons for consistent use of vaping between vaping and cigarette smoking. For example, a young person having a sensation-seeking or impulse personalities. Other researchers looking into population level trends, vaping and smoking have found that as youth vaping increases in population, smoking reduces, she said. So somebody with a little, and that's at the very end of the article. Of course, that's where they put the people that actually make sense at the very bottom of an article. So that way, who gets that far? Not very many people get that far in the article. Or how many articles have we read?
If that.
Yeah, how many articles have we read where it's all shit, and then the last sentence is like, well, you know.
Yeah,
It could be this. Yeah.
I started putting bullet points at chat, and I use ChatGPT to make the bullet points or whatnot. But it is all my own writing. But yeah, because people don't read shit.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that. Okay,
that's the thing, and Jeff brought it up, and it's not just that generation. I think some of us have gotten there because of social media, just using the Instagram app, the TikTok app, YouTube Shorts. I think even our generation is like, hey, I got 30, 40 seconds. Either you grab me or I'm gone. I'm swiping. You know, and I think that's what's happening to us when it comes to articles.
I am that way. Like, I will read the plot line for a movie before like spending an hour and a half watching the fucking movie.
I mean, there's a generation that basically they read the headline. They don't even read the article. The headline tells them everything they need to know, and then they're out there spreading.
I read more than that, but I'd rather read it than watch it.
Yeah. Everything has gotten lazy. I just noticed there's a little button on MSN that I can click and it'll read the article for me, so I don't have to read it. So I've been using that for a while now, and I kind of like it.
Hold on. What do you mean it'll read the article for you?
I never noticed it sitting there, and I go, "What is this?" And I click it.
No, you have to explain it. What do you mean it'll read the article? It just gives you a summary of the article?
I don't have to read the article anymore. I can just click on this little thing. It's got a headphone on it.
Yeah.
And then somebody else's voice reading the article for me.
Oh, wait, somebody's actually reading it out to you?
Yeah, you don't even have to read it.
I'm just trying to figure out the way that you're taking in this article.
That's how lazy we've gotten. That's how lazy we've gotten.
No, I'll be the first one to admit, like, I use ChatGPT. Like, I mean, God, Kathy is amazing. And honestly, I sat here said it last year. I was like, she's gonna replace copy editors and like social media managers in the next few years. No, she's gonna replace them this year. Actually, is what she's going to do. What I do is like I'll write like 1,000 words or whatnot, and I just have her edit. And she makes my writing sound a hell of a lot fucking better and stuff. But it's all of my writing. It's not, I'm not like using it, you know. And my brother's using ChatGPT for the color me informed. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait till he wants to do stereotypes or states.
You see this little thing right here?
Georgia.
Listen to article. And it'll read you hear it?
Of awe and fascination for centuries, with experts from around the world desperate to solve the mystery behind her iconic, enigmatic smile.
So I don't have to read anymore,
thanks
man.
To X-ray technology,
I love it.
Scientists have begun to uncover the secrets of Leonardo da Vinci's legendary portrait and explain.
I don't have to read no more, man. That's how lazy we've gotten.
It sounds like your girlfriend, okay? I'm like, so lazy you don't need a wife anymore.
That's it. Hey, Lindsay, all I need now is someone to make me a BLT. That's it.
Women already have things so they don't need husbands. So
that is true too.
Oh, hey, only because 1970.
That's because we've had to do it that way.
Yeah.
Well, wait, Michelle, do you not know? Like in like 1969 or 1970, up until then, women couldn't fucking buy their own house.
Yeah.
They had to have some man on their, their deed of their mortgage.
That's right. Yeah. Cosigner. Yeah. Some sort of cosigner. Yeah.
They got over in '89. I can literally like talk shit about that one.
Unless, actually back in.
Hey, Jeff, we're going to get in trouble here, Jeff. I can feel it. The tension building.
1850s, you could.
Girl,
Jeff, don't say nothing,
Jeff.
Jeff.
You could actually buy your own home if you're a woman, but you had to be like.
The women are the reason for the housing crisis in 2008.
And the thing is back then, if you were a widow, then you could buy your own home.
Yeah. No.
So there's I don't know if you guys, I can't remember the comedian's name, but he goes on about divorce rates.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys might have seen this where the guy does a divorce rate. Do you know who has the highest divorce rate right now?
As far as like jobs or
no
career? Oh.
So women married to women.
Yeah.
He goes on, it's 72. This literally is fact. It's 72% divorce rate.
Yeah.
The second highest is men and women. It's like 49%. The lowest divorce rate is guys and two guys being married. So he goes on and goes, men aren't the problem.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know about that one, but I do
only
think
when they're married to women then, right? That's what the problem is.
I shortened it. He basically said, women argue all the time. He's like, they're the major problem. He goes, then guys are married, a man's married to a woman. It's kind of a problem. And he's like, two guys are married, no divorces. They get along. You know what the meaning of gay is? Happy.
Happy. Oh man. Hey. I'm not going to touch that one. I'm not going to touch him here. I got my special button.
If the guys would just, if the guys could just figure out that women are always right. That's just the way it is. We can't help that. You guys just need to figure that out. We're always right. Sorry.
Yeah, we know what's
laughing. I'm kidding.
Well, then maybe we need more women running the rape industry. Maybe we'll fix some things around here.
If only we had our
Don't get her started. Don't get her started. Don't get her started.
Yeah, well, the title of today's show is "You Have a Voice, Be Heard," and the reason I put that is because each week I go and look for articles that I want to talk about on the show, and it seems like we don't have that voice anymore, and we have the numbers, we have some sort of backing that it's out there to represent us, but it seems like we're not getting that national voice. And I thought I'd throw that question out to you guys on the panel and then everybody out in chat. What are your suggestions? What could we do different that we haven't done in the last 12 years to get our voices heard? Whether it's on a major network or whether it's a newspaper or a magazine or social media.
About streaming regulations.
Yeah. What is go ahead, Jeff, say it, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Abolish steaming regulations. That's why we don't have a voice.
Yep.
We're not allowed to have a voice.
No, we're not. We're not
That's
allowed.
Right. They did that first stop.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop. That doesn't.
And they did that on purpose way back when.
That stops us from saying this will cure cancer. Or this will stop you from getting
cancer. It stops us from saying anything.
It did, but it didn't stop us from. It didn't stop social media or the news outlets from having us on sharing our opinion as a consumer. I'm not talking about having the store guy come up there because, again, the store guy is the ones whose hands are tied. The consumer's hands are not tied. The consumer can share that information at the store. I've done it many times where the store owner or the salesperson there at the vape shop would say, "Hey, I can't say this. I can't help you here." But then they would look over at me and I'd be like, "Here, give me that. I'll show you how to do this."
I've had so many respiratory therapists and doctors come into my stores.
Yeah.
And tell me they cannot say anything.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't say
Legally,
nothing. Yeah.
legally, they because of deeming regulations, they can't say anything.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but what I'm trying to get at is the consumer doesn't have a voice, and I think that's where we need to step up in our game and find ways to get our message out there, because we're not part of the industry. We don't own distribution centers. We don't own vape shops. We don't own e-liquid manufacturers. We're consumers, and it seems like us as consumers don't have a voice, whether it's on social media, whether it's on news outlets, whether, one of the biggest things that kind of upset me, and I get why it was done during the big vape meeting out in Washington, D.C., but actually telling vapors out there not to talk to the media, not to share your story in fear that you may say the wrong thing. And I thought, wait a minute, you want our voices heard everywhere else except this moment where we have the front. We're here. We're in Washington. We're here, and we want our voices to be heard. And you're telling us to shut up. And I get why some of the big wigs that got that thing all set up wanted everybody to be quiet and not to say anything because of fear, somebody might say something wrong or blow a big cloud. I don't give a shit if you're blowing a big fucking cloud or you're blowing a little cloud. You're not smoking and you have a voice. And telling these people not to speak up and not to say anything, I thought was bullshit. I thought it was bullshit. And don't tie our hands. Your hands are tied. There's certain things you can and cannot say. But me as a consumer, I can say whatever the goddamn shit I want. If I want to say it's saving my life, I can say that. I can say this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I can say I feel better every day. My skin is better. My family loves the fact that I'm vaping. You guys can't say that, and that's why when someone tells me to be quiet and not to say anything in fear that I might say the wrong thing, you know what? Fuck you. That's how I look at it. Fuck you, because you know what? I spent my fucking money to buy this shit. I didn't borrow money. I didn't ask you for it. I didn't beg you for it. I bought it with my own money. So I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say. So that's where I'm at. And I'm at this point where I feel like you guys are kind of, your hands are tied, but I feel like we need, as consumers, need to get out there more. And I think having consumers show up for city council meetings and we do.
I agree with you 100%.
And fight and just open your mouths. If you got 30 seconds to speak, make it the best fucking 30 seconds you have, and I know Lindsey's told us before, you don't have a lot of time, right, Lindsey? Most of these places are like, hey,
I think
you got a minute and a half, say what you got to say and move on.
It's just a performance, guys. Okay. One shot, mom spaghetti. Next week, arms are ready. And
but Lindsey, they pull all the strings. They're bringing kids in. They're bringing freaking grandparents in. They're bringing parents in.
They're bringing kids in, and I'd like to see the state associations a little bit more organized. As far as like bringing in the people. I mean, Golden Oldies from like 2020. That was really a good idea that I did, because it was like literally the whole idea behind Golden Oldies, though. I'm sorry, I got hiccups right now. The whole idea about Golden Oldies was that I really wanted, people that were like 65 plus, the assholes that I hate. Logan's Run. Okay, like, you're too old, and collecting Social Security. But
because we're not all hipsters wearing skinny jeans and fucking
65 plus. I mean, I've talked to some lawmakers about that, and I was just
see, the problem I have, Lindsey, is when I see these
effective testimony.
Yeah, the problem I have, Lindsey, when I did, in the past, when I did see these city council meetings and these other meetings and state representative meetings, I didn't see the consumer. I saw the owner. The owner has, as far as anybody's going to be concerned, whether you're a city councilman or a congressman or just someone listening in to that meeting, you have a reason you want to say vaping. It's because it's your business and it's your livelihood. So
I had 100 videos from Michigan with Golden Oldies back in 2020. And it was like Mark's List actually brought me most of the videos or whatnot, and they were just customers from his vape shop. So these were they weren't the business owners, they were the consumers and everything. And also, because I was pretty adamant, I was like, dude, keep on the fucking script, okay, and everything, so I can go through these numbers. And like I was able to like formulate a spreadsheet, and
no, but you're right, Lindsey. It needs to be more organized. And I know how bad it was in the beginning, because I remember, in the early days, 12 years ago, there was every advocacy groups were just popping up everywhere, and there was no.
I reached out to Gasol before I did all of that.
No, I know.
I had no problem working with them. Actually, they had more of the infrastructure than I had. I knew I was trying to help out Mark's List and everything. So
and for me, the biggest problem we had early in the beginning, and it was something I stressed 12 years ago, is we all need to get on the same page. We're all trying to save vaping, and the problem is you had distributors that wanted certain things, you had vape shops that wanted certain things, you had distributors that wanted certain things. You had websites that wanted certain things, and nobody came together, because everybody was fighting. Well, if you take this away, it's going to hurt me. If you take this away, it's going to hurt me. Instead of just saying, hey, what do we need to do? What's going to benefit every aspect of this industry, whether you're a distributor, a manufacturer, a vape shop, a website, just come together, sit down and figure it out. But instead, we didn't do that. Instead, each part of this industry was fighting each other over what, was going to hurt them and not hurt the other. And instead of coming to a common goal and trying to save something that they truly do, I think a lot of them truly did believe they're saving lives. And then there were those groups that were there just for profit. Yeah, we know that. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like there wasn't those people that are out there that were going, fuck, it's costing me $3. Yeah, it's costing me $3.75 to make this bottle, and I'm selling it for $25. Yeah. There were those guys out there, but that was the problem. And early on in this fight, I said, we're not going to win. We're not going to win this, because we just keep fighting each other. And then each group was, these people are stealing money. This group isn't stealing money. This group isn't doing nothing. These people aren't doing that. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, just come together as one advocacy group. You can they should have took all the advocacy groups, created one, and have one board member from each one of those groups be part of that new group. And they could have done something about it early on.
Treat it like the NRA.
Exactly.
It represents everybody. It represents from the manufacturers down to the consumers.
And the biggest problem, and I'm sure Jeff will agree with me, the biggest problem, there was no voice there for the vape shop. There was nobody there for the vape shop. Nobody gave a shit about the vape shop. Everybody was concerned. Yeah, everybody was concerned about manufacturing and distributing.
And here's the thing, is I would say most vape shops, or any vape shop that actually cared about harm reduction, did try to get consumers involved. And here's the problem, and I can tell you the problem right now. We're living it. Disposables.
Yeah, disposables are killing it.
Well, no, but what are disposables? Disposables are convenient.
Yeah, they're convenient.
They're lazy. People are lazy.
Yeah.
General consumer is lazy.
Yeah. But Jeff, here's my counterpoint to that. The only reason disposables are popular now is because they've taken away everything else.
Right.
I don't think the disposable market takes off if the open system was left alone with flavors, because I truly believe that people out there that are vaping want to be able to go from strawberry to mango, or dessert vape to a fruit vape. And I think when they started banning flavors and started banning our products and our hardware, and being able to get cotton, being able to get coils and all this other stuff, I think that's what drew the market for the disposable. Because I really don't. Do you think? Let me ask you: do you think if we had flavors available and we still had the hardware that we have, and the way the hardware industry was each year was coming out with product after product after product, do you believe if we still had everything in place that the disposable market be what it is today?
Yes.
You do? Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I agree too.
You have to remember. You have to remember, Jewel. We had all that stuff when Jewel was here.
Right.
When Jewel first came out, and Jewel dominated the market.
Yeah, they had
Tobacco, menthol, and mango.
Yep. I agree with you there. They had like 70% of the market.
And again, I think a lot of that was because it was sold mostly in C stores, so it was convenient.
It was
convenient.
They could throw it away.
But you saw that also drew in the pod systems, the open pod systems into the market as well. Don't you think that would have somewhat counteracted the increase in that we see today in disposables if you still had the open pod system?
You would have no choice if you got rid of disposables. It would only be open pod systems.
Yeah.
But now you have...
Oh, whoa. Let's backtrack you on that one. If you get rid of the disposable system from the regulated retail market, there will still be disposables. They'll just be on the black market.
Don, I'm sorry. This made me laugh, and I have to put it up there. Tim's on tour with Steel Panther. Jeff, that's our other co-host, our resident rocker, Tim. And no, he's not done, but I can actually picture that though in my head. Tim, I can see Tim.
Hold on, I gotta do this for you guys because you know he's not here anyway. So
yeah. Hey, Jeff, there it is. Our resident rocker number 2.
Yes, he's the ginger, okay? You know, he has no soul, all right? I'm not that black metal.
Hey, Jeffrey, he's either touring with Steel or he's training bears. He's training bears. He's doing one of the two.
Or training teenagers.
Oh, Timmy. Hey, Jeff, it was fun having you on. You can come on anytime you want. Let Lindsay know when you're available. Well, you jump in anytime and be part of the show. But we cut our show down to an hour for now until things start to kind of heat up. Hopefully here shortly. Hopefully Trump and Kennedy get their shit together and figure out what they plan on doing with the FDA and then
carry out.
Yeah, figure it out. And RFK, stop doing push-ups and pull-ups and get into the office. Sit down with Trump. Look. You can tell all this younger generation that they should be doing 100 push-ups a day. I ain't fucking doing 100 push-ups. I'm 57 years old. I'm not doing 100 push-ups, and I'm not doing 100 push-ups in 8 minutes. Are you fucking kidding me? 8 minutes?
I can do 25.
In 8 minutes.
I think I've done 28 push-ups in the last 20 years.
Thank you. If you add all my push-ups since high school, I probably hit that 80 somewhere around there.
Well, I've never been able to do a chin-up, so forget that.
Well, yeah, he's saying the pull-ups too.
Oh, with the national presidential awards stuff, I just did that thing where you just hold yourself, you know.
All right, I'll do 10 if Trump can do 1. How's that?
Oh, dude, I'd like to see if Trump can get his penis up. Oh crap! I probably shouldn't have said that out loud.
Oh. All right, guys, we are out of here. Thank you, Jeff, for joining us. Michelle, Lindsay, thank you, everybody out there in chat. We'll see everybody next week. Tim will be back from his touring dates with the Steel Panthers, and who knows?
Poison, come on.
He might be.
Hang out Brett Michaels, all right?
Yeah, I can see that too. I can probably see that too. He's not good enough for Motley Crue, but he'd be all right there with Brad. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, those that don't know,
you have to be wondering who's pulling which other one's hair.
Yeah.
Okay?
those of you that don't know, actually Tim kind of not manages, but kind of promotes as kind of like their promoter for them and creates their website and their Facebook group page and runs that.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah. He
Motley Crue?
Yeah, it's a very good Journey cover band in Georgia that he does stuff for. Very good. Actually, the dude sounds just like Steve Perry, so it's pretty amazing. All right, cool. Guys, you guys look into the camera and say goodbye.
Thanks,
bye,
guys.
everybody.
Guys.
Bye.